Oh, God, we made it, man. We made it. July 1st. Happy Canada Day. And you know what that means? Free agent frenzy, baby. I'm in a frenzy over what the Canucks did. Let's go, baby. We're going to talk about it now. Locked on Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to an extra special bonus weekend edition of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, Canucks writer and part-time credential media member for Daily Hive Vancouver. This extra special bonus episode is brought to you by FanDuel, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. And before we dive into what the Canucks did in free agency, I got to tell you, go subscribe. Go make sure you hit the like button on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Because, hey, we got shows coming out 5 days a week and sometimes even on the weekends. And I said I'm fired up. Hey, love that drop. I said I'm fired up about what happened today. I mean, mainly that's just because I've been at the beach for 7 hours, didn't really know what was going on, couple drinks deep, came home, found out what happened, and now I'm here to talk about it with Kyle Bowen. But first, Kyle, happy Canada Day, brother. How you doing?
Dude, you are the role model on how to live life, okay? Free Agent Frenzy, Daily High Vancouver, Trevor Beggs, Locked On Canucks, Trevor Beggs, Free Agent Frenzy. He goes to the beach with his family, and he's not checking that phone. Because it's family first until it isn't. And when it isn't, it's Locked On Canucks, okay? The fan first program, Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs, Canada Day. It's my girl's birthday today, my girlfriend's birthday, my baby's birthday. No, I'm not talking about Canada. I'm actually talking about my real girlfriend.
Yeah,
it's her birthday today, and look where I'm at. It's what, 5 o'clock? Dinner at 7? No more. Okay? Locked On Canucks, fan first program. Again, Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs. A common corner at the end of the show. I'm excited to talk about this. Now, off the rip, I think everyone knows the news. We don't have to go down the list, okay? We got educated fans here, passionate fans here. They already know what happened. So I got to ask you this question. Are you okay with Carson Soucy being a Vancouver Canuck? Because you were one of those people saying, don't do it. So you cool with this?
You know what? I'm cool with it because I'm loving life today, Kyle. Do I love it? I'm cool with it. Yes. Do I love it? No, I don't love it. Okay. Look, some of the computer boys, computer gals out there will tell you that Carson Soucy, has played pretty well. I do like his PK metrics, even though he did it in a secondary role for Seattle. At the end of the day, I think it was a bit of a red flag, though. The fact that he got pushed down the depth chart in Seattle behind Will Borgen. And, even watching him in the playoffs, Seattle was doing their thing. I wasn't a massive fan of Soucy's game. That being said, I didn't think he was a big liability. I just don't think he's worth, $3.25 million for 3 seasons. I saw that Connor Clifton signed with the Buffalo Sabres, almost an identical contract to Carson Soucy. And yeah, I know Connor Clifton's 5'11" and Carson Soucy's 6'5", but it's not about size. Doesn't always matter that much, okay, Kyle? Size doesn't always matter that much. Dude, ladies, gentlemen, remember, size doesn't always matter that much.
Dude, come on, man. It's all about confidence, babe. It's all about confidence. Size does not matter. Trust me. Coming from a Findu, I don't got to explain it. We've all watched Mansers. I've done fine. With what? Confidence. Shout out to my boy, Tony, for telling me that, okay? Anyways, Connor Clifton over Carson Soucy. That's what you're still saying. That's what you're still believing. That being said, you're in the sun. You're with the family. You're feeling the love. And I feel as if you've also warmed up to Carson Soucy being a Vancouver Canuck. Is the number at the perfect amount? And where do you see him, being most used / being most, what's the word? What's his biggest trait? Like, what's he going to really do for this team to ensure that they're playing meaningful games by November 17th?
Yeah, honestly, I think he's basically going to be like a Luke Shen. That's kind of how I see Carson Soucy. So yeah, he's overpaid. I think he's probably overpaid by not a ton, but I think he's probably overpaid by about $750,000 to $1 million. Like, I think he's probably a $2-ish million player making $3.25 million for your Vancouver Canucks. I also don't think this is Tucker Poolman 2.0. Okay, I know Tucker Poolman was 4 years, 2.5. So a year longer, a little bit less AAV. But here's the thing. Quinn Hughes is going to make anyone look good beside him. And I think Carson Soucy is going to be a good fit alongside Quinn Hughes. I'm pretty sure that's the pairing on paper that you're going to see. Or that's probably the way Rick Tocchet has it laid out right now. get that big physical presence in Carson Soucy. Hope he's not a huge liability beside him and that he can kind of keep up with Hughes and be that defensive rock. And then slide Ian Cole beside Filip Hronek to get to signing 2 here. Because I think Ian Cole does profile as more of that defensive defenseman, responsible, always got his head up, very experienced. Again, I think Ian Cole is exactly the kind of player that Filip Hronek needs. I think Carson Soucy is a bit more mistake prone than Ian Cole. So that's kind of how I see the top 4 right now is Quinn Hughes with Carson Soucy and Ian Cole with Filip Hronek.
There you go, man. And I saw somebody's video on YouTube, right? Doing some research at the gym. Sorry, I was in 2 places at once. I'm trying to be zen at the gym, I'm trying to be in the moment, have a good lift all the time. But when we're doing Locked On Canucks on Canada Day, you know what I'm saying, bro? You got to be tapped in. I think I was listening to Parker Canucks or something, and he was reading Jay Fresh Hockey's player cards, and he was saying how Ian Cole was one of the best defensive defensemen in the league last year. Is that just is he saying that based on how much time he was playing? Like, is he like one of the best defensive defensemen who was used as a 4th defenseman in the league, or is he saying like in general, like one of the best defensive defensemen in hockey?
No, I think it's relative to competition. Now, I haven't dove into it and seen the Jay Fresh card to know what his competition was, but at the end of the day, Ian Cole was playing a top 4 role for a team in the Tampa Bay Lightning that was contending for a Stanley Cup. And he was an amazing penalty killer as well, or at least one of the better penalty killers in hockey among defensemen. So I think, Ian Cole brings it, man. I really like the Ian Cole signing. I actually like the Ian Cole signing a lot more than the Carson Soucy signing. Again, Ian Cole's coming here on a 1-year, $3 million deal. It's 1 year, boom, bam. You're potentially out of here. I mean, he's 34
Hallelujah.
years old.
Hallelujah. A 1-year deal, yo. Oh, 2 of them. 2 of them in one Canada.
Woo!
Unbelievable. Ian Cole, a player that they probably did, I hope they did a lot of research on him. They figured it out. They did a lot of research on him. They known him from the past. They brought him in. They also brought in Teddy Blueger as well, right? Former Penguins. I said this 8 days ago. I was joking. But next up, you never know. Sidney Crosby playing for your Vancouver Canucks, man. Oh, man, these guys bringing their boys. To Vancouver, man. Before we get to Teddy Blueger, I got to say this, okay? Patrick Allvin, I heard what he had to say about everything free agent frenzy, right? Everything that happened today, he talked about it. And I've noticed this guy's talking with more swagger, more confidence. I feel like he has his people there, and he believes that there's going to be a lot of culture shifting happening ASAP. He also talked about Tanner Pearson, too, being there at training camp. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes.
Yeah, 100%. I'll touch on Blueger quick. So go ahead.
Sorry. I was still trying to go on a little tangent about Patrick Allvin, but you cut me off. It's all good, though, because maybe he's not important right now. Let's talk about Teddy Blueger. He did talk about Teddy Blueger, and he said that, well, I'm paraphrasing here. He's a pro's pro. And he believes he can get back to that 25, 30-point player, if not more. But he kept bringing up the fact that he's like a pro's pro. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those guys. He's going to come into camp at shape. He cares. He really cares. He's doing the most. And apparently we got one of those guys coming here to Vancouver.
Yeah, on Teddy Blueger, again, a 1-year, $1.9 million deal. That I do love. Is he a 3rd-line center? I'm certainly not convinced. And Kyle, you and I talked about it. Everydayers know. Shout out to those everydayers who are tuning in right now. We talked about it with the budget 3rd-line centers. I listed a bunch of players, including Teddy Blueger. And you said aside from Pius Suter, every other 3rd-line center kind of seemed like competition for deals I'm on, including Teddy Blueger. I will say this, though, right? He didn't have a great offensive season, had a down year in Pittsburgh, played okay in Vegas News in the lineup, but was scratched for most of the Stanley Cup run. But before that, I loved what he brought to the Penguins. The speed he brought, especially on the penalty kill. I always noticed Teddy Blueger on the penalty kill watching Penguins games. So I think this is a really shrewd bet by the Canucks. Again, I'm not convinced he's a 3rd-line center, but, bring this guy in for 1 year. The pride of Latvia. Shout out to Latvia. Shout out to our Latvian listeners right now.
Hey, there you go. We're Team Latvia, baby. We're Team Latvia now.
Let's see what Teddy Blueger can do, buddy.
We Team Latvia. Okay, so more on Teddy Blueger, okay? A pro's pro, apparently, allegedly, right? He was a black ace for Pittsburgh when they won a cup. He was barely used for Vegas when they won a cup. He's still part of the mix, though. He's still part of the recipe, right? Every part counts. eBay Motors, right? I don't know if they're a sponsor today, but every part counts. He's a winner in that sense. And again, I'm paraphrasing, a pro's pro who signed a 1-year deal. who wants to redeem himself. And overall, we know it. We've seen the product on the ice, and we've seen Rutherford and Alvin talk about how there wasn't a lot of professionalism happening here for a team that plays in Vancouver. It represents, the game. It's a Canadian city. It was pretty clear that a lot of people here weren't taking that seriously. They weren't doing the most. Not only to get into the playoffs, but again, to be a Stanley Cup contender, it takes a lot. Those two would know, and they called it out right away. So bringing in a guy like this on a 1-year deal, another piece of the pot, who's going to be having something to play for on his own in the mix, it's just perfect. It's perfect. You need guys who know how to do it, and that's again being a pro's pro. We talked about Talkit, right? Bringing that type of culture. We also talked about Besser staying back in Vancouver, training, doing his thing. We saw that video of Kuzmenko at the beach. And that's what I'm telling the people right now. You've been listening to Locked On Canucks, right? You better be training too. You get into the best shape of your life this summer. For real.
Yeah,
we're all Canucks, right? We're all Canucks, right? We got to do it too. Get into the best shape of your life this summer, and we'll be playing meaningful games in May. I can't guarantee June. I'm not God. I'm just Kyle Bout on Locked On Canucks. But, get into the best shape of your life, and let's join the boys. Because I feel it, man. Yo, Trevor Beggs, ask me if I think the Canucks are going to make the playoffs next year while I sip this whiskey.
Do you think the Canucks are going to make the playoffs next year?
Hell yes. Hell yes. Am I allowed to say hell? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I know they're making the playoffs. Okay? Locked On Canucks.
Wow. You're on one, buddy. I love it. Let's keep the momentum rolling on the other side. But we do have to shout out a sponsor quickly. So first, before we talk about what's next for the Vancouver Canucks, their cap situation, some of the other rumors, guys they might sign, we got to talk about FanDuel. Okay, take your first swing at betting on MLB on FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. That's right. Just bet $20 and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 that you can spend betting on everything from the money line to the over-under to who you think is going to hit the first home run. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you can get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today and visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball.
Okay, you're back. Locked On Canucks, Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bowen. We say the names a lot, okay? And you know what? We're probably never going to do this. And when we do, we're going to do it only a few times in this thing called our lives, our Locked On lives. Shout out to our girls, yo. Because look at what they're letting us do right now, bro. This is
true, man.
You're a father of two. It's Saturday at 5:00, man. You got to put some burgers on the grill. Sorry, baby. Locked On Canucks. It's my girl's birthday. Dude, Uber Eats today, baby. All right? Uber Eats today. Yo, she shares the same birthday as Free Agent Frenzy. Not Canada. As Free Agent Frenzy. And that's a day you and I have been celebrating for 2 decades plus. We're addicted to the game of hockey. Yo, it's a beautiful thing. It's a weird thing, too. You know what else is weird? The fact that I feel as if the Canucks are not done yet. Even though they should be. Because, Trevor, you heard me yesterday, man. I brought up names like Ryan O'Reilly because the trauma was sinking in, okay? The trauma was sinking in. I was thinking that these guys were going to go left field again. We saw Mikheyev last year, right? That kind of came out of nowhere. And that was on the heels of the Benning era where every July 1st was scary, just scary. And yesterday, the day before July 1st, 2023, I was scared. I didn't think they were going to go after quality value like they did today. And even though they did today, and they should be done, unless it's like a trade, a mid-August trade where the market's changed. Because right now the market is bleep. I still don't think they're done. Am I just crazy or am I just being dark pessimistic? Because I feel like something weird is going to happen soon.
Yeah, well, I think, one big thing hanging out there is Frank Seravalli's report about Tyler Myers potentially going to the San Jose Sharks. I still have a hard time seeing Tyler Myers getting traded, especially before September, which is, last time I checked, a little while from now. That bonus I think kicks in on September 15th. So, but that being said, if they can somehow move Tyler Myers, I still think they're going to have to attach a first, which I wouldn't do. I think that's a non-starter. But if they can trade him for, I guess, a third round, like have a third as a sweetener, I don't think that's the case. But maybe there's some dumb GM out there who thinks Tyler Myers can still play. But if that's the case, then that certainly opens the door for what's to come. And Kyle, I know you and I have talked about it too. I don't know if a shoe's going to drop here in the next couple of days. But once the season starts, once Poolman and Pearson go on LTIR, if they go on LTIR, it does open up a few $1 million in cap space.
No, bro. I gotta cut you off. Again,
Yeah.
you're a great human being, bro. I'm proud of you, man. You're disconnected because you're connected with what matters, and that's the people around you. Not on your friends list, not on your followers list. The people around you. You're a beautiful person. But it's free agent frenzy. Somebody had to do it. I had to tap in. I told you that I listened to the Alvin recap. Right? He talked about July 1st, 2023, and he brought up the fact that Pearson's going to be ready for camp. They know it. They know it.
Wow. Interesting.
They know it. I don't even think I'm paraphrasing. I'm pretty sure after the interview, I heard Dan Riccio say the same thing. A lot was going on in that recap. Pearson's going to be ready for camp.
In that case, I do think another winger's got to get dealt then. I'm not sure what it is. It'll probably be a captain of some kind.
Yeah.
But you got to think they find a way to get off of Garland or maybe Beauvillier. I don't think, or Besser. I have a hard time seeing Besser going anywhere at this point.
I could see this team doing the most in like the middle of August. You know what I'm saying? It dies down, the market dies down, and then they kind of just ignite their own talks. And they see if they can get rid of two of these guys in one trade. You get what I'm saying? And possibly, because Alvin mentioned this a lot of times, not specifically like a trade involving that many players, but the hockey trade, because he was talking about how there's no such thing as that right now. There's no such thing as a hockey trade right now. Around late June, early July, there's no such thing. But maybe, and I'm saying this, I think that we talked about this yesterday too. I think that could happen for creative GMs, who are reading the right books and making the right plays, and sometime in mid-August. Sometime in mid-August. And is it Beauvillier and Myers? Is it Garland and Myers? You know what I'm saying? Maybe.
It's a lot of money, though. That's a lot of money for what team's going to take on $10 million?
I don't know.
I mean, probably a few million coming back the other way, but like you said,
you can agree with this. You
world.
can agree with this. You know that either Alvin is overvaluing these players, the Garlands, the Beauvilliers, the Bessers, because I feel as if those trades were kind of available around this time. You throw in your own third or your own second from 2026. Boom, bam, one of these garbage teams will take it. Alvin doesn't even want to do that. He doesn't want to just dump these guys. You asked the question. Sorry to just ignore your question.
Yeah,
Who's going to take on $9 million? Whether it's a combination of Myers and this guy, or Myers to this guy, or Beauvillier and Garland. I don't know. But I think in the middle of August, things could get weird. And I think I actually want that to happen. I want the Canucks to press pause right now. It's over. You know what? As far as like acquisition goes, because I still want to see the push-ups. And post the videos. Okay, I want to see it. Get sweat. Work out this summer. Be in shape. But as far as the acquisitions go, pause. It's over. It's all good, baby. It's all good.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with you, Kyle, because I'm on Cap Friendly right now, and I see that the Canucks are apparently $2.4 million over the cap right now. So it's they're probably gonna have to hit pause unless there's another shoe to drop here. I will say a couple of things quick. All right, a couple of guys I did have my eye on were Michael McLeod. Okay, Michael McLeod surprisingly became a UFA when the Devils didn't qualify him. He re-signed with New Jersey on a 1-year, $1.4 million deal. I mean, I think I would have preferred McLeod, especially at 1.4 over Blueger, 1-year, 1.9. But it just seems like McLeod wanted to stay in New Jersey. Obviously, the whole Hockey Canada thing gets tossed about as well with him. That investigation is going to conclude sometime in the next couple of months. But I found that interesting. But actually, I think McLeod could have gotten $2 million plus on the open market, no problem. But here he is, $1.4 million for 1 year in New Jersey. The other guy I have my eye on, I excuse me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's been signed yet. Max Comtois of the Anaheim Ducks. So he was on my list of guys who could potentially be the next Sam Bennett. He's got that physical profile. He had a good start to his NHL career. He's kind of flamed out, but still he's tenacious. He can score. The Canucks, according to Rick Dollywall, had interest in him. I'd love to find a way for the Canucks to get Max Comtois on the roster. That being said, it's a flyer. It's a flyer. They got to move a cap before a guy like that's going to come in. And yeah, I think you're right, Kyle. I think it's over, and I think another team, probably even lower down the food chain than the Canucks, is going to take a flyer on him. But we'll see how it goes. It's still a guy I have my eye on in the days ahead here on free agency, even though a crap ton of guys got signed today. There's, I guess, a few guys floating out there.
You know who are two guys that I'm really thinking about at what 5:30 again on July 1st, 2023. I'm thinking about these two guys, and they're already Vancouver Canucks, but it's Podkolzin and Höglander.
Yeah,
I just think about those guys, and I desperately want them to be big parts of next year's version of the Vancouver Canucks. And I'm not having trouble seeing where they could fit in the lineup because I have hope for them, and I see their potential, and I feel as if they're great hockey players, and eventually they're going to reach there, and they can flip that switch whenever. And I hope it happens next season. But for that to happen, bro, they got to do a lot of impressing from the jump in September. If there's any two players that have to get it together in the offseason to make the big club next season, it's those guys. It's those guys. Because again, remember, Alvin and Rutherford had nothing to do with you guys becoming Vancouver Canucks, and so didn't Tocchet.
Yeah.
I want those guys to be big parts of the team. I feel as if the Canucks will be a lot better. I'm talking about May being a good time for Vancouver Canucks. We play in the second round of the playoffs. Boom, bam, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's different. We moving, we grooving. I think that's a lot easier if these two players take jumps and they play roles on this cap. This team has no cap. On one of these teams, you get what I'm saying? Those guys have to be playing way, way above their contract value.
I agree. And I think that we should probably table that for another episode because we're getting up to it. Plus, I think, again, every day there's no way talked about where does Podkolzin and Höglander fit into the team's plans heading into next season. And now the free agency is kind of in the books. I know they're signing new wingers, but with the news of Pearson coming back potentially, it adds another wrench to it. Plus, we got Beauvillier, Garland, and Höglander, who are all three similar players, and I don't know if there's room for all of them on this team. So, again, we'll table that for now. Lots that happened today. Make sure you stay tuned to that here on Locked On Canucks, but let's get to Common Quarter here on the other side. See you in a second, Kyle.
Okay, we back. Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bowen. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Shout out to the West Coast, the best coast, right? Supplying the goods all the time, okay? You already know the deal. Woo! The grass is greener. The grass is greener on this side. You know what I'm saying? I know. Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. The grass is greener on this side, and it's sunny today. And I hope that everyone on the West Coast, the best coast, or whomever is a Vancouver Canucks fan is having a lot of peace in their life right now, right? Peace of mind. It's a beautiful thing, Beggsy. Don't you think? You spent a lot of time on the beach today. You probably felt like you won the lottery today, right? Well, it was like one of those feelings. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't need anything else ever.
Yeah, I was feeling super nostalgic today, to be honest. East Beach in White Rock, I think it's one of my favorite spots in the world, and I think people might laugh at that, but I got a lot of nostalgia being in that spot, man. The tide out, good for the kids. Been there partying a lot as a teenager, big fires.
Oh man,
just got a special. And I used to live there. I mean, that place got a special place in my heart, man. Shout out to East Beach in White Rock.
Dude, I remember one time you invited me there for your birthday. I think it was like a summer day, obviously, because your birthday's in the summer. And I was going to come, but I was waiting for this girl to come with, because she said she was going to come with, and she stood me up.
Oh.
I don't give a... Come on, man. Who cares, man? Who cares, man? Thank you. Thank you. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Okay, comment corner, end of the show. We do save the best for last here on Locked On Canucks. Comment number 1. There's... Bro, this is from It's Flurry. Bro, there's rumors the Nucks want Justin Hall. Okay, and obviously that didn't happen, right? Yzerman signed him to a big deal. Big deal. Yzerman also signed JT Compher to a big deal. Now, I like JT Compher. I do.
Yep.
I do. Now, again, if you're new to the show, welcome. If you're not, you know the deal. I haven't been watching a ton of hockey over the last couple of years. It's been recent that Beggsy got me hooked back onto it, but I've seen a lot of Maple Leafs games because they're always on. Dude, that dude's like Lucas Pisa. No, he's one of those guys.
Comparison, yeah.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
You don't give this guy term. You don't. You make these guys try out for your team.
And well,
Has
and the thing
Yzerman
that
lost it? Has Yzerman lost it? And if that's the case, because honestly, I'm a little confused about this guy. Has he lost it? And if he did, is that good for us? Because he gave us Hronek.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder, honestly, because he signs Ben Schrott to that big deal last offseason, and Ben Schrott was dog crap this year. And then Justin Hall, even JT Compher, again, I like JT Compher. The guy put up 50 points this season, but he played over 20 minutes a night. I think JT Compher, again, when the Avalanche were killing it, when they were winning the cup, he was a third-line center on a good team. He is probably a second-line center on a not-so-good team, and Detroit's that not-so-good team. So, yeah, I would say that there was a bit of overpayment on a couple levels there.
And, bring up the other guy. Bring up the other guy that you always bring up. Like, bring this guy to the Canucks, Andrew Kopp.
Andrew Kopp, yeah, that was a big signing too. I mean, yeah, a lot of term for Andrew Kopp as well. Again, I think he's third line center on a good team, but on a crappy team, he's not so good third line center. So I mean, Detroit's done this a couple times now. It's a great point, Kyle.
Dude, you're gonna not pay Tyler Bertuzzi, but you're gonna pay Justin Hall. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna pay JT Compher. I actually like JT Compher. I've seen a lot of AF games too. Like when he plays that role and he's healthy, he's driving play. He's doing his thing.
But again, 5 years, 5.1 million a season. The guy's 28. He's probably like on the latter half of his career now. It's a lot of term, a lot of money. And the Red Wings were the model organization of the NHL when Yzerman was a player. He obviously did great work in Tampa. But yeah, you're right, Kyle. As of today, not yesterday, but as of today, I am starting to question what Steve Yzerman's doing for the Detroit Red Wings. And hey, who knows? Maybe he gave up a good one in Hronek. That I'm really hoping for.
And man, if he wants to, slap me in the face with whatever I've been saying for the past 30 seconds and whatever you've been saying, he's got to win now. He's got to win now. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take 7 to 8 years to build a team to get to the next step, Anyways, Red Wings talk, get out of here, okay? Second comment, I'm sorry. This comes from Mick Deasy. Great show, guys, and happy birthday to your missus. Dude, I told her that today. She felt very appreciated, And I crack jokes all the time, like, oh, I'm over here, doing Locked On Canucks now, blah, blah, blah. She's over there. It's her birthday, bro. Beggsy, you know it. She's trying to do the same thing here, too. And that's put on the city, right?
Yeah.
You already know it.
Yeah.
She knows the deal. She knows.
Yeah,
she's the most talented person, bro. She's 1,000 times more talented than us. Let's be real. Let's be honest.
Oh, 100%.
She's trying to do the same thing, and that's champion Vancouver.
Yeah, she's honestly got one of the best voices I've ever heard, dude. And yeah, if there's justice in the world, she'll be 1,000 times more famous than us. That's for sure.
Dude, 100%. That being said, we do love all the people watching this show. One love. Canucks fans, the best fans in the world. Okay. What is this? That is not
what was that?
No, that was a print screen. Don't worry. This is not. That was a print screen that didn't get clipped, into a comment. It is what it is, okay? Like I said,
it's the weekend.
The grass is greener on this side. The grass is greener on this side. It's Saturday, bro. It's Saturday. I'm here, man. Come on, man. Sipping some good whiskey. Come on, man. We doing it. And Patrick Allvin is doing it too. And what he's doing is he's doing exactly what Jim Benning should be doing. I know the comparison shouldn't be made anymore. It's old lingo. It's old conversation. But I'm traumatized. That was some of the worst managing of all time. That's the stuff I like to troll other fan bases for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was happening to us. We had the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a while for me to forget about that. But it was really good to see Allvin utilize the 1-year contract when you're a team that's up against the cap and also not successful. You're not successful yet. Prove it before you act like it. And Jim Benning always acted like, nah, we good, bro. A couple mistakes here and there. The horoscope wasn't the right. Just shut up, dude. Jim Benning was the worst GM in sports. Anyways, Trevor Beggs.
You have been traumatized, man. You always end up here somehow.
Dude, look, and why did
July 1st, right?
Why did the sun start setting as soon as I started saying that? It got a little darker in here.
I feel like Jim Benning's on your roof, and he's just kind of like creeping down through the window, be like, "You talking about me?"
bro, if I was in an alternate universe and I was the mayor of Vancouver, I literally would never let this guy walk into the city until we won a cup. Until we won a cup. Okay. Anywho, we don't want to go down this hole. Trevor Beggs, sign us out. Okay. Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Subscribe, hit the like button. One love to Hayden Cluton, IQ. All these guys are OGs. You know what? I'm gonna open up the OG door again. Okay, get in now. Get in now and be recognized as an OG for Locked On Canucks. Okay, Beggsy, sign us out. Happy Canada Day.
Oh man, why are you not signing out the show, man? Unbelievable. You got that was a great sign out right there. I will say quickly on Benning and Alvin, what Benning did for 8 years with this team made no sense at all. At least what Alvin did today made sense. Agree with it or not, quibble with it or not, the moves made sense. But for now, shout out to the everydayers, the occasional listeners. And if this is your first time listening, welcome to the show. Happy Canada Day to all of you. And you know what? Even though free agent frenzy won't be as frenzy through the rest of July, you know that Kyle and I will be here for you on Locked On Canucks because it's your team every day. But hey, it's Saturday. We got to get the air out of here. So for now, I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bound. And you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.